What's up, guys? BriarRabbit here. It was a long weekend, but a very busy one here in America, and I have a ton of stuff that I want to talk about. I haven't made a video in 3 days, and I can't wait to get started, so let's jump into it. Check out this sexy piece of eyewear. This is Sony's HMZ-T2, and what it is going to be is a PlayStation 4 version of a gaming headset, a 3D gaming headset, similar to an Oculus Rift. Now, back at E3, there was a lot of conversation that Sony may or may not be in a deal with Oculus Rift to get the Oculus Rift to come to PlayStation 4 because there was a lot of smirking and grinning going on at the Oculus Rift booth between them and the Sony executives. Well, it turns out that it looks like that's not going to happen. Sony actually had something up their sleeve, and it's this guy, the HMZ-T2. So what do we know about this thing so far? Well, everything I've learned came from Eurogamer.net, and there'll be a link down in the description. But the overview of it is it's going to cost about €1,000 or about $1,200 US. It's going to have an OLED 720p panel for each eye that renders 3D pictures in detail. And finally, Sony expects to release this sometime in 2014. Whether that means early 2014 or Christmas time 2014, who knows? That's total speculation at this point. But I gotta tell you, I'm pretty excited about it. The high price concerns me, but that is the price you pay as an early adopter. I don't know that I'm going to jump on board this bandwagon right away, but I'm glad to see it start to come into fruition and to start seeing products getting released, because the more stuff that gets released, the easier it gets to manufacture this stuff. The price will come down eventually, and it'll be in every gamer's hands, and that's really exciting to me. VR, they've been promising me VR since I was a little boy, playing my Sega Genesis, and I am just psyched to finally get my hands on it. This looks really cool. You know, we get the Oculus Rift for the PC. We got the HMZ-T2 for Sony PlayStation 4. Who knows what we're going to get on Microsoft Xbox One, but hopefully we'll see something soon. Speaking of the Xbox One, Major Nelson has been in the news a little bit lately, once again backtracking on some of the stuff that they've previously talked about with the Xbox One. Namely, that the Xbox One, which will ship with a 500 gigabyte hard drive, will not be able to use external storage at launch, and you will not be able to replace the 500 gigabyte internal hard drive with a bigger hard drive at launch either. Now, couple that little tidbit with Mark Whitten responding to the question about being able to preload digital downloads before release. He said, "Not at launch, but you'll see us do this and much more over the life of the program." So neither of these stories are really that important on their own. They're really hardly notable, except for the fact that it seems to show a pattern of the Xbox One software development, specifically the OS level software development, is running late. It's running behind. Everything's not going to be there at launch that we were hoping for. And that's a little concerning, especially if you're planning on getting a day one edition of the Xbox One. Now, Larry Erb, Major Nelson, actually got out there and said, you know, we're not rushing this thing out. Everything's going on time. It takes time to add these features in. What we're working on are the core features that every gamer is going to need and want and use right off the bat. And this kind of more extraneous stuff will come as we have more time for software development. You know, which I see and I can appreciate, but you know, you start mincing words like this and it gets a little concerning. We have a big decision to make this November. Is it going to be a PS4? Is it going to be an Xbox One? And I think popular internet opinion is already going toward the PS4. I think that any misstep Microsoft makes, even small ones like this that just slowly erode at customer confidence, they're big mistakes. But here's something that Microsoft is definitely doing right. So when asked if you could sign into an Xbox 360 and an Xbox One using the same gamer tag, Mark Whitten responded, yes, this works. You'll be able to be signed in at the same time with the same gamer tag on both the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One console at the same time. That's a lot of same times and same gamer tags. But what he's saying is that, yeah, you can do that. You can have an Xbox One upstairs, a 360 downstairs in the living room. Your wife or your kids can be watching a show on the Xbox 360 while you're gaming upstairs, all sharing one gamer tag. That's awesome. In my house, it's super frustrating when I'm playing a game upstairs and somebody turns on the Xbox downstairs, signs onto my gamer tag to start watching Hulu or HBO Go or Netflix, and signs me up upstairs even though I'm in the middle of a really good Call of Duty match. I can't tell you how many times it happens. Sometimes it happens by accident. They hit the wrong button on the remote and bloop, there goes the Xbox, it automatically signs in, and I'm offline. So this is really exciting to me. However, there is a small little tidbit that frustrates me a little bit, is that if you have two Xbox Ones, you cannot be signed into both. That sucks, because the Xbox 360s are only going to be around for a while. Eventually, my house, I'm sure, is going to look the same as it does now, except you just replace the 3 Xbox 360s with 3 Xbox Ones, and we're off and running. So I would like to see the one gamer tag work on all 3 Xbox Ones. Maybe they can figure out some way of, authenticating the users, but, all this business with, having to be, having the internet validate who I am, I just want stuff to work. I don't want to be signed out because somebody wants to watch Netflix. I just want stuff to work. And I don't care about copyright stuff. That's for lawyers to figure out. And when that stuff gets in the way of users trying to access their content, then that sucks. That's a bad user experience and they need to fix it. This is the same thing that happened to the music industry, the movie industry, and now it's going to happen with games, and they need to fix it before it gets in our way. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.